What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Domuto. We are back with another video. Today we're watching UnrealEntGaming Beyond Dragon Ball Super Demon God Raijin versus Black Frieza. Raijin's final offering to Frieza revealed. Okay. Final offering to Frieza revealed. Okay. Alright, Ian. Anyway. So we about to see Frieza get cooked real quick, and we will get into it, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and Lego.
As our story now continues back within the demon realm, as Frieza was shown having to be overwhelmed and outnumbered by several of the elite demons within the demon realm, it was only just upon with Frieza being held by one of the Leviathans within the palm of his hand was when Frieza went on to then quickly transform into his black form by then responding, "So while you wretched demons may assume for this to be the full extent of my true power, allow for me to now go and introduce you all on what my real power is truly capable of. And as I hereby want to go and introduce you all to a form that I'd like to call Black Frieza. And if you thought that I was dangerous before whilst wielding my golden form, then wait until you go and witness as to what I'm capable of in doing now." But then, it was only seconds after Frieza's initial transformation as the elite demon Lycus went on to order the Leviathan to strike Frieza was when Lycus went on to then quickly respond, "Feeble Frieza, for I don't care what you refer to yourself as, now hurry and go and take this moment to crush that animal while you still can, Leviathan." No, how very cheeky of you to go and assume that I am unlike anything that I just was in taking this power that I wield for granted there, demon, but I'm afraid that I will have to go and regret to inform you all that forcing me to go and bend my knee isn't going to be something that will come easy in watching you all try and make me do it. And so, since I already have other plans in doing what I must in order for me to go and reach the very top of this so-called God King mountain and seeing what lies on its very surface above, and so in the meantime, why don't I go and reshape what you believe to know about what true power looks like, and showing you creatures on what real power truly looks like. And so for starters, while I do not plan to go and waste any more of my time here than what is already needed, Frieza continues, and I want you all to go and feast your eyes on what it is that I am going to be leaving you off with here, demons, as there really aren't many who can say that they were lucky enough in surviving what I'm about to go and gift you with, but nevertheless, let this now go on and further having to serve as being a reminder to you all then, shall we? And then so why don't we go and start with this, as I could care less on what happens to any of you, but what I do happen to care about, Frieza continues, is just how useful this realm could end up serving me, as I intend on having this be where my new domain will be etched in stone, and if that means that I will need to go and eliminate a handful of you in order for me to go and do it, then I will go and gladly see to it that I wipe you all from the face of this world. And so now you can all try to stop this if you think that you actually can, but you would all be walking into your graves if you did, and so I wouldn't be too hasty to try if I were you, because you wouldn't stand a chance if you tried. But then, it was only just upon with Frieza now being shown having to gaze on up and noticing something very strange having to occur with his supernova was when Frieza then went on to further question, What is this? Why can't I redirect my energy attack towards all of them down there all of a sudden? As it almost feels as though something is preventing me from launching this towards those worms down there below, but what could possibly be strong enough to go and bind my attack in place like this? What just happened to my attack, and just how in the world was it that I could not control its movements despite it having to nearly charge it to its absolute full capacity? Now just what exactly is going on here, and how did my... But then, it was only seconds after Frieza's supernova was shown being dispersed, as Frieza's body was now being shown getting pulled towards the top of God King Mountain, was when Frieza went on to then quickly respond, my body? Something's pulling me towards by having some kind of a force-based technique here, but who in the world could go and possess such force behind their power and having to go and bind me like this? As Raijin went on to address Frieza by responding, "What an absolute nuisance you are in having to make such noise while I was in the middle of something something far more important, creature. But you didn't surely think that all of that noise would go unchecked now, did you, Raijin questions? Because now I want to know, and so now tell me, what exactly made you believe that you could waltz into my domain, create such an insignificant disturbance, and not be noticed by me? But now that I am able to see your face, Raijin continues, I actually know you, yes. The so-called Emperor of the Universe and the tyrant who believes himself to be an eternal force of domination now, is he? For I have went and heard a great many things about you, but let me make something abundantly clear to you, Frieza. For I could honestly go and care less. Your ambitions, your conquests, your petty rivalries, all of which I find to be as inconsequential as a gust of wind within an endless storm. But tell me again, did you really believe that you could lay a hand upon my realm and disrupt the balance of the demon realm itself and leave unscathed? That I would simply go and allow for you to come and go as you please without consequences, Frieza? For I can assure you, mortal, that this is not how things work down here, especially not with me. But I do want you to go and tell me more now, Frieza, and as I'm curious to now know, was this your master plan? That your arrogance, your hatred, and your insatiable thirst for dominance would simply go and grant you victory over forces that go beyond your comprehension? And as surely you must have some kind of an answer, or was this just another one of your desperate attempts to validate your fragile little mortal ego, Raijin says. And in case you didn't already know, I am Lord Raijin, the ruler of the demon realm and the new supreme god king of the multiverse which you happen to reside within. And with this, allow me to go and offer you a truth that you never wanted to go and hear, Frieza. For your very name may have been feared among mortals, and your power may have shaken the weak and the foolish, but here, you are nothing, Raijin says. For in my realm, you hold no authority whatsoever, and since I know that you came here in wanting to try and claim my throne from me, and I admire your willpower to go and try to defy me, even if it will ultimately cost you your life within the process, Frieza. For I had went on to conquer gods and had broken the wills of entities that make your greatest foes look like children gasping at their first taste of power, Frieza, and yet, you, a mere remnant of a fleeting empire, dare to cross over and stand before me in thinking that you can win? How utterly embarrassing for you to even go and try, Raijin says. And as even in the face of certain death, you still go on to glare at me with the same arrogance that has guided you throughout your entire existence. For a lesser being would have already been reduced and trembling at the very sight of me, and yet you still hold on to that pathetic pride as if it were an unshakable trembling at the very sight of me, and yet you still hold on to that pathetic pride as if it were an unshakable law of existence. Now don't you, Frieza? With Frieza responding, well, so you are the great Raijin whom those demons continue to talk about down there now, are you? Well, and I'm glad to know that my name has gone as far as to reach the outskirts of the demon realm, because very soon, Frieza continues, I plan on indeed taking my place within that throne of yours back there as the demon realm's new ruling supreme king, with Raijin responding, enough, for I do not have time to waste on such weak and pathetic life forms such as you, and so now unless you plan on kneeling before me and begging me for your life, then you will simply go on to perish where you stand, Frieza. As Frieza then went on to quickly respond, well, actually, mighty god of the underworld, I beg to differ, Frieza proceeds upon being shown firing multiple energy blasts at Raijin. And as you know nothing of what I'm capable of, but worry not, as you are moments away from finding out. To which it was only just upon with Frieza's blast them being shown having to hit Raijin was when Raijin was shown having to be unfazed by them responding. And you think by attacking me with such pathetic attacks such as these is going to go and do what exactly, Frieza? Because while I'm not quite sure on whether you are brave or simply foolish, one thing thing that I will, however, go and let you know is that no matter your efforts and no matter how much power you think that you have, you will never be strong enough to go and put a dent into what I've become, mortal. Why, you arrogant little worm, Frieza shouts. No one mocks my power like this and lives to get away with it, you vile creature. No one! And that is simply because if I can't go and blast you into pieces, then I'll just go and grind you into the dirt with my bare hands instead. And if you are truly as powerful as you say that you are, then what do you say what? But
yeah,
you didn't even
stop.
bother to move to try and avoid it, let alone go as far as to even flinch, Frieza surprisingly then responds. Oh, and just who exactly is it that you think that you are trying to fool here, demon? As you and I both know that you cannot possibly try and keep this going for very long, and you know that you can't, Frieza continues upon being shown attacking Raijin. But if you truly think that you could, then allow for me to go and prove you wrong then, demon, as if you think that this power you
White
display
devil,
is
tell him.
supposed to scare me, demon? No. For I have seen far more horrors than you can possibly ever hope for one to bear witness to, so I will not be made to feel like a fool against you, and I know that I could. But then, it was only just upon with Raijin then being shown having to speed blitz right past Black Frieza, and from that point them being shown attacking him multiple times, was when Raijin then went on to quickly
hit him with the
respond,
Jiren.
Enough with these games, for I have seen and heard all that I needed to while having you stand before my throne and watching you act the way you did. And so now let this serve as having to be a painful lesson in having you witness the difference between our power, as despite with your strength being something that is rather slightly impressive for a mortal to go and bear, my strength, however, is simply one that goes far beyond your ability to understand or make sense of, Frieza. For you will go and know your place and should have thought twice before attempting to challenge my reign, as you will go and pay the price with your life now in exchange for your arrogance. And so let this be your end for ever thinking that you had a chance in coming for my throne the way you did, mortal. As all you were was just another stubborn insect which needed to be taught a valuable lesson, Raijin continues upon Frieza being shown having to drop on down unconscious. But perhaps there is something more to you that is buried beneath that insufferable pride of yours that I can go and make useful to my cause, Raijin continues. So what if instead of erasing you entirely, I go on to bend you to my very will and having you serve as just another one of my weapons of destruction? For I have no need for a delusional conqueror, but a puppet of war instead. Yes. For this could in fact prove to be rather useful to me in the long run, Raijin continues. And so perhaps you aren't as worthless as I first believed for you to go and be, which there is only one other way for us to go and find out then. So while I have more important matters that I need to go and attend to within the moment, Raijin proceeds upon sticking his arm out by responding, the configuration cubes will not go and retrieve themselves as the real game has yet to begin, but perhaps you can go and be put to use after seeing the darkness that I felt that was dwelling within your very soul. And so instead of ending your life the way it just was within the moment, maybe there is indeed a use for you within my ranks, and so I shall restart your heart and offer you salvation, Frieza. So come now, for you shall go and reawaken and have your heart beat once more, only this time you will heed my words and listen to what I say very carefully. And so now let your spirit be resurrected in place of where you had just perished, for you will be given a chance to live, but only under the circumstances of having you bow your head before my presence. For you should consider yourself more than lucky to be able to crawl back from the abyss of nothingness and draw breath once more before my presence, mortal. But let me now go and make myself as clear as I can in letting you know that this very moment is not yours to cherish, for it is mine and mine alone, Raijin says. For I have granted you a second chance to live, not out of mercy, but because I can use you, Raijin continues. And so, do not go and mistaken this as some form of kindness, for I am beyond such trivial emotions, as you were only given a second chance because I willed it, mortal. As Frieza went on to then respond, "Oh, curse you, demon! You and your web of lies, for you are only lucky enough to have gotten the better of me given the advantage that you hold in residing with such a realm, you filthy creature! As I refuse to go and accept and believe in the idea that you are this much more powerful than I am, demon, as I will not be taken for a fool.
Okay. Frieza wouldn't do this. Frieza would know that this nigga is way too powerful to even to challenge him, right? Like with for example, Jiren. I mean, obviously he challenged him because he had no choice, right? But Frieza wouldn't challenge this dude. Now, would he join him? Probably not. You would definitely he will join him. If he did join, he'll have a second motive to join him. So I don't know. That's just observation.
While I'm here, but then it was only just upon with Raijin being shown having to not take Frieza seriously whatsoever was when Raijin then went on to quickly continue. Oh, don't be foolish enough in buying into your own delusions here, Frieza, for I am indeed far more powerful than your fragile primal mind can possibly comprehend, and so just to look at you, Raijin continues, the so-called emperor of the universe crawling on his hands and knees like the dirty little rotten bottom feeder that you are, for you had spent your miserable existence in believing for yourself to be the ultimate being, but yet here you are. For I want you to go and know that your power means nothing to me, Frieza, but I will hereby go and give you an opportunity to possibly go and change that, as this is going to be the last time that I will go and extend my hand to you. And so now submit to me and pledge your existence to my very will, and you will be given a second chance to serve at my closest side, but if you choose to go and refuse me again, then I shall ensure that I will devour your very soul, Frieza. For you should know that there will be no escape, no salvation, and no dimension that you will be able to go and hide in that I won't be able to find you in, as there will be no other fate that you could possibly go and hope for that will go beyond what I am capable of in dictating, Frieza. And then so now you will go and accept me as your absolute, or you will go and perish within the dirt. Only this time, I do not intend on bringing you back to life here again, with an irritated Frieza responding, damn you. And you ensure that I will be given exactly what I desire after pledging my loyalty to your very will, correct? No tricks and no excuses, for do you swear on your name that you will go and keep your word if I go and agree in joining you? For I must go on and hear it from your very mouth, demon. As Raijin went on to then respond, you have my word that I will go and keep my end of the deal in granting you a new beginning once you go and pledge your very will to my every command, mortal. And so now go and choose your fate with me now, for you have kept me waiting long enough. As an irritated Frieza then went on to say to himself, no, this is just unacceptable, and to think that this is just like it was when I had faced off against that wretched angel Murno makes me sick. But what other choice am I left with here, especially since I can now see that he is absolutely serious about this. And as much as I despise in having to admit this, Frieza continues, but I am simply no match for him the way I currently am without having some kind of a reserve to fall back on. And so I must go and be careful with what I go and choose, for it might be best for me to cage my rage for the time being, and just simply allow for myself to appear obedient until I find the perfect moment to go and make my next move. And so you may go and have this victory over me within the moments, but make no mistake about the fact that I will make you pay. And so I will go and grind my teeth and bow my head for now, but the very moment you go on and turn your back onto me, Frieza continues, will be the very moment where I will go and make you regret in ever having to offer me such choices, demon. Very well then, as I will go and do what I must, for if this ultimately means that in order for my ambitions to be realized that I'd have to go and pledge myself to your very will, then I will hereby proceed in in doing so by pledging to you my undying loyalty, Frieza went on to then bow his head by responding. For whatever it is that you will go and need from me will be something that I will go out of my way to go and do, my master. Yes, good, very good, my loyal subject, Raijin responds. For your destiny is now woven within my hand to determine, but let us not go and waste these precious moments in celebrating, Frieza, as I want you to rise, for your time to serve me in doing as I command of you will now officially begin. And as there is much that needs to go and be done, and have it be done we shall, for I will go and have you become the harbinger of my very will, and the very shadow that eclipses all those who dare to defy my law. And in order to ensure that you are to go unchallenged against all those who stand to oppose you in carrying out my laws, from this moment onwards you will no longer be known as being a ruler of the weak, but a reaper of the unworthy, Raijin continues. And while I will go and grant you the access in carrying out your revenge onto all those who have once wronged you within my name, in order for you to go and truly succeed, would you only be required to be given a new power to go and do so, which is exactly what it is that I am about to go and give you, Frieza. And as I only expect for you to go and use what I give you very wisely, for such actions are rarely ever done, with the only exception being for those who rank as the mightiest within the demon realm. And so now let this go on to be what is used to consume you, Raijin went on to then tap Frieza by the forehead by continuing, in giving way to a whole new level of power, the likes of which you have never experienced in your life before. And then so now go and take this little addition of power that I give you, and let this be what guides you within my name. For you will go on to use what I give you as leverage, and as you carve your path of destruction, I want you to go and simply remember this. For every step that you take, every enemy that you slay, and every empire that you burn, and every victory that you claim is all to be made within my name. Serve me well, and I shall elevate you beyond even your wildest expectations and dreams, Frieza, but betray me and there will be no resurrection and no second chances that will be waiting for you, for there will only be oblivion that will wait for you in the process if you go and choose to defy my very laws. And as I want you to go and remember this very carefully, and so now do not attempt to resist it, for it'll be pointless to do if you go and try, Raijin continues. And so now let it strip away any remnants of the pathetic emperor that you once were, as you are no longer a ruler of the weak, but an extension of my very will with far darker power than you were ever shown having to wield before, only second to that of the Dark Masters in nature, to which as Frieza then began to evolve was when Raijin then went on to quickly continue, and with this very power I hereby give you the strength to go and reclaim everything that was taken from you, along with extracting your thirst for revenge, and as you will only go on to do so while honoring my name in the process. And so as long as your wrath serves my very will, then I will go on to grant you the liberty to act as you desire in seeking out those who have disgraced you by extracting your vengeance in my name. And so now come forth, Frieza, to which as Frieza was then shown having to finally complete his dark and demonic evolution was when Raijin then went on to quickly continue. Good. Now that's much better. And so as long as your actions serve directly under the Dark Masters while I'm away, then you are free to indulge in your most savage desires, but I will warn you for the last time when I say this, and that is for you to go and be reminded that this is not a gift that I offer you, Frieza, for you will go and carry on by painting the stars in the blood of those who stand to oppose the demon realm, and I do not care for the method of your approach in doing so, and as by the time I return, if the weak still draw breath where my shadows should have been casted long ago, in having to go as far as covering them within my darkness, then you would have failed me in your mission, and failure isn't something that I tolerate. And now that you know, go and prove your worth to me, Frieza. Leave no stone unturned and no world untouched by your fury, and once I return, and I expect to find the heads of your most fearsome rivals, those who you've claimed within Universe 7 at my throne. And so now go and make sure to go and get them before I do, for I shall be watching and waiting, but rest assured, and I will be keeping tabs on you in the meantime, so do not think that you can go and turn on me without me having to catch on to you, Frieza. And so now go and do what must be done, as I, on the other hand, have a date with destiny in seeking out and finding Mechi Kabura, as it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Dark Masters, the official Mono sequel manga chapter number 30 special, then comes to a close.
This nigga done got Frieza some new power, and Frieza about to go fuck some shit up. Oh my god! All right, cause Black Frieza form is already stronger than most of these niggas. All right. Shout out to UnrealEntGaming for this video, man. This story's getting better. And, you know, I wasn't into it really at first, but I'm getting into it more and more as it goes on. But make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Check out the last chapter right here. Check out another video right here, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.